Thank you for tuning in. My name's Larry Donahue, and I'm the founding attorney for Law for Small Business. And I'm going to talk about DBAs quickly. And the big issue with DBAs that we're finding is people don't fully understand what they are, how they work. And while we certainly want to compete with all the other internet companies and provide a DBA service you can order from us, what we are finding is people are ordering DBAs and they are not being used or put into place properly. So what we're going to talk about is kind of the overall issue of what DBAs are and how they work. At the highest level, a DBA is sort of like another word for them is fictitious name or a trade name. They are a alias. If you think of it as like a human being, myself, my official legal name, it's ridiculous, but it's Lawrence Sterling Robin Donahue Jr. Isn't that a mouthful? But I go by Larry Donahue. So Larry Donahue is my alias. It's my DBA. So in order for that to work, I have to exist. I have to be an actual person to be able to use Larry Donahue. And I know that sounds kind of ridiculous, but now let's apply it in the company or corporate context. DBA, doing business as, or the trade name, means you're doing business somewhere. So think about what that means. First of all, you have to be doing business in a particular state. And that means you have to have a registered entity in that particular state. If you have a Wyoming company and you live in California, you can't file the DBA for your Wyoming company. It doesn't work because the Wyoming company doesn't exist as far as California is concerned. So what you would need to do in that specific instance is file a foreign LLC of your Wyoming company in California. Now you can get a DBA. Make sense? Following me? So people get very confused about how the DBA works. And at the end of the day, you have to have a DBA as an alias for a pre-existing something. And it goes on a state-by-state basis. So if you're in Texas and you want to file a DBA, for what? It better be something that Texas knows about. So it's going to need to be some sort of entity already registered in Texas. And if that entity is not registered in Texas, then you're going to need to foreign file that entity into Texas in order to then do your DBA. Now, maybe you're saying, I don't have an entity. I just want to start doing business, and that's why I want to do a DBA. No, you don't want a DBA. What you want is an LLC, probably. You know, there's rare circumstances where another entity might work, but you don't want a DBA. You want to file an LLC. And what an LLC will do is provide liability protection. It'll give you advantages for certain tax treatments. It will provide survivability. So if something happens to you, your company's not going to just fold up and die. And then it also provides a lot of flexibility for partnerships and other things. So you want to form an LLC, and doing the LLC then will give you the name, and it will do all those things that you think a DBA will do, but a DBA is not going to do. It's the LLC that's going to give you what you need. So we talked about the foreign issue. You got to make sure you have an entity in the state that you're in. And if you don't have an entity at all and you just want to be a sole proprietor, I'm recommending against that and instead file an LLC. There are some other issues that come up involve trademarks. And I want you to understand that just because you filed something with the state does not necessarily guarantee or legally entitle you to a particular name. So if you're thinking about a DBA to lock in a name, that's not the right process either. Don't bother. What you want to do is deal with a trademark, and ideally at the federal level versus the state level, but trademark law is extremely complicated, and I want you to hear me when I say just because you file a DBA does not give you the legal right to the name. So you want to be careful if you're trying to do a DBA for branding purposes. I would recommend you consider, we offer trademark consults, 30 minutes. You can probably be talking to me. We also have, I have another trademark attorney and may have more in the future. And within 30 minutes, we're going to answer all your questions and hopefully steer you on the right path. So there's a lot of complexities here with DBAs, as I hope you're figuring out. And just because somebody said get a DBA doesn't necessarily mean that's what you should do. So if you have other issues or questions around this that I didn't address, we offer 30-minute attorney consults. And what really drives me nuts, by the way, is there's not a lot of great information on the internet, and there is a lot of great information on the internet. How do you know what to distinguish, what is right and what isn't right? And if you don't have the time for any of that and you just want to have a chat, consider the consult. And thank you for tuning in. Good luck to you.